The scene is set for New York by Night's Camarilla venue. Ambrosia Smith, the primogen of the troubled clan of the Toreador, is meeting with the Prince Ambrosia, the icebreaker, former sheriff, a European-style Bruja, who, as you can see, he's got his interesting facial hair, clearly distinguishes him probably from a much older time. And Ambrosia will also see, also dressed in a suit, another kindred she hasn't met before. I don't know if she's met with the icebreaker, but
I've probably seen y'all around Elysium, but I've probably never actually talked to you.
we haven't had that. We've had two Elysiums, and you were neither
Yeah,
since
you would have
God's
been,
state.
you would have been
Okay.
aware of the sheriff.
Yeah, you were the sheriff, but Doctor Softly you haven't seen before. Unless we describe him to you, he's wearing a suit. He appears to be in his late 50s or early 60s. Possibly might be a ghoul, but he's got a walking stick, kind of older, respectable position about him, and he's looking over you somewhat appraisingly.
Before she fully approaches, she stops her own ghoul, Mad Phil, but from entering and tells him to wait outside before she kind of comes up and she nods, respectfully, and she goes, "So, hi."
Please come on in and have a seat, Toreador. I assume your clan has organized itself somehow?
Yes. At this point, she takes a seat. Both her tattoos are visible. She's got a falcon across her shoulders with the eye of the gangrel on it, and then she's got the toreador rose across her ankle.
So, are you the due representative to Primogen for your
I
clan?
I am the recently appointed primogen of the rose, correct? At this point, she goes, "I've been healing up since my last Elysium. I'm sorry to say this, I don't know which one of you is the current prince."
The prince, he will incline his head very respectfully. Lennison, also known as Icebreaker, since there. I am Dr. Howard Softly, Primogen of Clan Bruja, Elder of said clan, Keeper of Elysium, Hound, and Harpy.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet both of you. So let's talk business. What can the Toreadors do for the Camarilla?
What are the Toreador's numbers at the moment?
Currently, we have 3 that I have been able to get in contact with in the city that have not just left or died.
Names.
We have Mr. Peck. We have the Spanish painter. I'm not allowed to call him by his first name, and I cannot pronounce his last.
Victor is an associate of Walker's from a previous city. Walker's reliable. He says he's a member of the Camarilla. That suits me for the moment. Perhaps I can get details of previous cities you've inhabited to. Unfortunately, I'll put it bluntly, we're going to have to make sure that any background checks Mark has did are valid.
The only city I've ever inhabited is New York. I was born and raised here.
How long have you been embraced?
Since I was 27.
I repeat the question.
She kind of chuckles and she goes, "I'm 69.
Very well.
She's giving you a very. She does not
Yeah,
want.
it's also like you're a kindred. How can I tell? You know, unless you're wearing modern clothes, it seems to him, so he can't date you
Yeah,
on that
she
account.
is. She's
So
modern
he's just like,
off.
you could see Dr. Soft, he doesn't wear particularly modern clothes, but he's a man in his 60s. People don't take notice of that too much. He nods. So that makes sense. I guess you're one of the former princes. Old former princes. Brood, more than likely, I take it.
She kind of closes her eyes. She puts her hand over her chest like that. You can kind of see a faint scar. And she goes, "Yes, I know the former prince.
I do not speak of that one.
I know both of them. Well, knew both of them.
Interesting. I'll ask a few people around then, but it's a interesting history you've had.
Hmm. Which parts are interesting?
The fact you grew up in a city held by the Sabbat,
True.
but you were not the only kindred to have existed in New York. Manhattan was a bastion against such things for a time.
Shrugs. I can't personally agree with the Sabat. They're distasteful.
Perception empathy on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll 2.
6, 7, 8. Just in case you're lying or something, I'll take the difficulty 3.
Why is it not opening?
Okay, y'all are trying to see if she's lying.
Yeah.
She's not lying. You can tell she's trying to put
Trying to get a very good read on you.
Botch! She's hiding something.
You think that.
Lying for the teeth.
The prince can tell she's telling the truth. She's just trying to put it politely because she thinks you're a proper society.
We are proper society with Ambrosia. Unlock you filthy toreador. Keep betraying us left, right, and center.
The prince can probably tell she has a very large hate for the Sabbat.
Very good. I trust you understand why we have to be somewhat vigorous with the follow-up after the incident with your
Mr.
previous
Green
primogen.
filled me in, she says.
Mr. Green went to great lengths to secure your release. That does count for something.
He's an honorable gentleman. At this point, you can kind of tell she's hiding something. I'm going to just give you guys that.
I already knew she was hiding something.
And what else is Mr. Green?
Oh, let's see if I can put this nicely. Manipulation and we'll just roll charisma. Ow! To put it bluntly, he's a coward. Every time I've seen him in a fight, he's run away and left those who were weaker to fight.
I need to make a frenzy check.
But at the same time, he is a
I
good
guess I base
man.
difficulty
down.
4. It's supposed to be 6.
Please don't botch this. I don't.
Do you want to roll a perception check to know you might have really pissed off Dr. Softly? It's his first round, I'm okay.
Like she said that mean thing, and then she added, but deep down, he's a good guy.
That doesn't matter. The beast is already rust. He's okay. Do you want to roll a perception empathy to know you might have made a misstep?
Please don't put me back in the closet. The princess closet is not a fun place to be.
I believe the correct and acceptable answers would be he is the sheriff of New York City. He is also the primogen of Clan Gangrel, who have been holding themselves in far better stead despite some recent problems than the toreador. He goes into quite a large number of fights, Perhaps if you were present more in such fights, which I hope you will be in future, you would be able to see his valor and courage. I have not seen you in any of the fights against the Lasombra and was a Sausage King or his childer, nor have I seen you at any other events.
She kind of shrugs and she goes, I'll give you that one, Mr. Dr. Softly. I'm not much of a fighter. I have Phil out there to do my physical fighting.
He is also an Ancilla and your better neonate. But let's move along.
Let's do. And hopefully we'll find something else to discuss. Namely, what are the clan toreadors' individual kindred currently up to? What holds your interests?
Right now, I wish to build the clan back up, and I will be doing a more thorough screening of potential toreador than my predecessor did.
Which might not be saying quite so much.
Yes. We need to get our numbers up before we could help with anything. We want more muscle in our clan also, so we can be more of an asset to the Camarilla here.
Chickens and eggs. If you want to be allowed to increase your numbers, I would dare say you'll have to be useful to the Camarilla. There are many kindred who wish to take up residence in this city.
Actually, I'm curious, what domains are currently held by the Rose?
I couldn't hear you there. You kind of cut out.
What domains are currently held by the Rose? Anybody who's present in this room can tell that Lennison probably knows to a T, but wants to establish the base.
Do you mean our status in the city among mortals, or what?
Domain.
It's named after a tradition.
Oh, okay. It must be his accent. What is he saying, Kevin?
Domain. What domains do they hold?
Oh, out of character, I don't know what domains they hold. They have not told me. I have asked. They have not told me.
Dr. Softly will sigh and he'll open up the ledger.
Oh, see, that would be a very funny answer.
Ambrosia at this point will go, I hold domain over a couple of townhouses and some factories I go randomly between at night for parties. I believe Mr. Peck runs a restaurant, and I do not know what this Victor does. He won't tell me about his domain.
Oh, it must be because he has none.
Most likely.
After all, if you are going to have a primogen of your clan to end up meeting with the prince, at least you could try and make certain that your primogen is well enough equipped to make certain that the primogen can name your domains. That's not too much to ask. From any primogen, I'm quite certain. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. Softly?
Of course.
So, allow me to help you here, Mrs. Smith, slightly, to make certain that the toreador in your clan understand what it means that you are the named primogen. I'll recognize the domains you mentioned. Those are the domains you hold. Any domain that I did not hear is now under the throne's supervision. Until such time as Clan of the Rose shows itself particularly apt and sees fit to inform its primogen of the domains it's likely to hold.
The other thing I wish to speak of is, what do you wish me to do with the groove once it's cleaned out, so to speak?
I'm terribly sorry.
Marquez's club, I do not want it.
No sane kindred would want it.
Any sane and capable kindred would do their level best to make certain that there are miles between themselves and anything connected to the group.
May I suggest if you have territory restrictions, we don't want the money coming back to any kindred, any paperwork, so have it, if you have such sway over such a thing, have the land sold off and the money donated to the fire department.
Actually, there is a better way to handle this. Who was that gentleman who didn't tell you of any domains?
Hmm.
Victor.
That Victor. All right. Why don't you tell Victor that by Prince's degree, Club Groove is his domain until he sees fit to sort it out?
That might be a good idea. Maybe he can
Maybe
turn
next time he'll see fit to keep you informed of things you should know when appearing before the Prince.
He'll of
at
course
this
be expected
point.
to defend his domain.
Ambrosia smiled in a very polite, cold manner. She goes, I think that would probably be the best move to make, my prince.
Very good.
Other than that, I was supposed to meet you with them here, but I was the only one willing to show up this evening. I don't know where they disappeared to. I'm thinking
Oh,
it might be time to lock down my clan a little bit until the matters are settled.
Why is a fledgling of your clan, I pick Mr. Peck, then trying to arrange private meetings with myself? Can you illuminate me on this matter?
I even used my old number as old sheriff's contact information to try and make acquaintances directly.
At this point, she kind of touches her mouth thoughtfully, and she goes, "The only reason I could think of is his fear of crowds. He doesn't like large groups of people."
Hmm. Has the request been polite, Dr. Softly?
The request has been polite, and I do believe he helped out LaGuardia Airport. On those grounds, I am willing to have a short meeting with him.
Have a short meeting with him, hear him out, and do inform him that you are hearing him out for me too when that happens.
Of course.
At this point, she's kind of leaning back, and she goes, "Besides financial and social advances that the toreador could help with, what is something you, Dr. Softly, think we should apply more towards, besides the muscle, which I'm working on?"
I'm not completely versed in Victor. Are any areas where you hold sway and influence?
Are you asking her this in character or out of character?
I'm asking in character, like if you have a bunch of contacts or allies or actual influence in particulars.
Ambrosia goes, "In New York, I have a lot of contacts and influence. Outside New York, no."
In what realms are these? Which artists or high society? Is this usually the case with Toreador, or are they with other social strata? He's actually trying to be nice now. He's calmed down a bit.
She smiles very sweetly at Dr. Softly, and she goes, "I'm a musician. Some of my contacts are with high class, and then some are less proper."
Very well. I think I have actually something that the Clan of the Rose could do to show the Camarilla that they are indeed one of the reasons we survived these nights.
"I would do anything for the Camarilla, my prince."
There is an edict by the throne that anyone capable of showing adequate control over a sphere of the mortal kind in a barrel will be afforded all due rewards. In this case, why don't the Clan of the Rose get their minds and hearts together and see what they can come up in Queens? I want you to, within 2 months, to show me that Clan of the Rose can pluck the heartstrings of Queens if it comes to that.
Very well, I shall do as you ask.
Should the clan succeed in that, the throne will recognize one embrace right by the recommendation of the clan's primogen.
Very well.
He would nod to himself. Well, unfortunately, we can only build up from this position. And I do think that even time, once you've settled in, which hopefully won't take too much longer, and, well, it seems like some of the other members of your clan, they might accept you in the title, but they haven't fully accepted that you are the primogen of your clan. If you fail to do that, they will no doubt remove you. It can be easier at times than others. I'm sure you'll be able to make some moves there. Dr. Softly takes out a parcel and he hands it to her. You are the primogen of your clan. Are you familiar with, I'm not sure if you even bothered informing me, are you familiar with a book code?
For the most part, yes, sir.
This is the book yourself and myself will be using. Previously, we had it for the whole court. However, we've tightened things up further. Each primogen should have a separate book code for different members of the primogen council, so that we can send contacts. If one person is captured or corrupted by other means, we don't have a problem there. As well, you should be made aware I'll be opening an Elysium in Brooklyn, not quite finished. The Primogen Council will not have meetings there. Of course, members of the Primogen Council will show up there at times, but we won't have all of the Primogen Council assembled at any point. When we are having the Primogen Council meet there, we'll be contacting you shortly beforehand. If we're going to have the doors to Elysium will of course be open at various times, but if we're having specific functions on, the Primogens, the court made aware if we're having an Elysium somewhere else. However, the exact location will be kept to members of the Primogen Council will be informed on the day, and an hour beforehand they can dispense the information to their clan. It makes it more difficult if there are other leaks of information.
Which brings up one more point, because the Queen says the area I recommended you to show off what you can do as a clan. Should someone rise from the toreador to be worthy of the position to keep an eye on the Elysium grounds in general, under the approval of Keeper of the Elysium, that would also go a long way towards reaffirming certain positions for yourselves.
At this point, Ambrosia's kind of sunken in her mind. She's taking in what you're all saying, and she's just kind of nodding along in agreement. She goes, "Yes, sir. I'll start working on it immediately."
In that case, was there anything else from the Rose?
At this point, she opens her bag and she pulls out some files and a laptop, and she hands it to Dr. Softly, and she goes, "This was everything that I could find in Marquez's office, if you wish for it."
Very well. I'll present it to the sheriff. I'm going to roll intelligence computers now. Dr. Softly, when she's gone, will be opening up it, make sure there's no trackers or anything in it.
Out of character, Ambrosia is just a high school graduate. That's it. She doesn't
Yeah.
know computers well enough.
Yeah. No, as in he's opening up physically, making sure there's no trackers or bugging devices.
In that case, thank you for your time, gentlemen, lady. I'll leave first. Adieu.
To be clear, he's doing it after he's left everybody else. And like, here, I can escort you down the elevator now. Dr. Softly.
She smiles as Mad Phil kind of jumps up and starts like punching in the air and goes, "You ready to go?" And she's like, "I think my ghouls got it handled, but thank you, Dr. Softly."
If you press them, it'll take the right approach for the mix of your clanmates. Once you're established, it gets easier. They just have to know that you are not just holding a title, you are that title.
I know. I tend to think Victor doesn't respect me much since I'm the only girl in the rows right now.
How odd.
At this point, she kind of chuckles. Phil like waves at Dr. Softly as they leave. You notice though on the stuff she handed you, there is a envelope, say in her handwriting, written on it to Marquez on top of all the stuff she gave you.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be opening that as well. Checking everything.
It's a simple dried rose inside with some blood drops on it and says basically, "Do not endanger the Camarilla."
Okay.
And that's it. And there were no trackers on the laptop that I know of. You would probably have to message Will if there were any and ask him.